Caroline Erb. I'm a 29-year-old artist, and I just graduated with my BFA in studio art. Woo! So I've been going to school for the past 4 years, taking classes nonstop, taking classes every summer, and it's pretty safe to say that I am burned out. I don't really feel like making art at all right now. And I know that can be pretty distressing for many artists. It can be distressing to be detached from that thing that makes up such a big part of our identities as artists, as creators. And it's obviously even more difficult if you're someone who is using art to make money, either full-time or part-time. So at my current age, I really appreciate the value of having multiple hobbies to turn to. I've always thought of myself as someone who is a jack of all trades, and that used to make me feel really insecure. I used to feel bad that I couldn't devote myself to just art, or even just to one kind of art. I've always been someone who flits between different interests, like crochet, knitting, sewing, jewelry making, ceramics, cooking, gardening, hooping, and on and on and on and on and on. Just whatever catches your eye sometimes and makes you feel like, oh, that looks so cool. I bet that feels so cool to do. I bet that feels so satisfying. I'll see an interest and I'll just get absorbed by it. I'll turn to things at different times naturally. But I feel insecure about this sometimes still, but not to the degree that it was when I was younger. I realize now that the belief that I was holding that you have to be a master of just one thing is entirely unrealistic. You are a human being. You can never be devoted entirely to just one thing. Not one career, not one relationship, not one hobby, not all of the time. It's not possible. It's not sustainable, and it's not fair to yourself to put that kind of pressure on yourself. You and I are full, complex human beings, and no one thing defines us. But I think that a lot of people, including myself, I've had this fear. I think a lot of people get afraid that if they stop making art, either because of burnout or artist block, or they run out of time, they run out of energy, they're afraid that they won't be able to come back to making art. And this is scary because if you're an artist, making art is a huge part of your identity. It's almost a part of a personality. And especially if it's something that you've gotten praise for, it can be really hard to detach yourself from that. Growing up, I was definitely felt more like an outcast. I did not really fit in. I was not sociable like other kids, and art was that safe place for me. It's where I found acceptance. It's where I found admiration and love from other people, and it's the one place that I found that I really excelled and that I could really express myself freely. So there's been points in my life where it's scary when you're not able to make art, because it feels like losing a part of yourself. And I think most artists, if not all artists, will come to that same season in their lives, if not one or probably multiple times, where all of a sudden you realize you're still a person even without your art. And that's not always a comfortable feeling. And people feel like they might not be able to ever come back to art if they set it down. Or any hobby for that matter. But at the end of the day, I definitely don't think that has to be true. Something can be a crucial part of your identity, but you can still be whole without it. And also, I find that the more willing you are to, and this is so trite, the more willing you are to let things go, the less you struggle against the different seasons of your lives and what feels appropriate at different times, the easier it is to come back to making art. So right now, even though I don't feel like making art, and it is kind of stressing me out, I'm trying to give myself patience and grace and trust that I will come back to it. I think about the Ghibli movie Kiki's Delivery Service, which is one of my favorites. It has been since I was a kid. One, because it's adorable. It's bakery themed. I love food themed stuff. But especially rewatching it as an adult, it really hits home where Kiki, the main character, loses her magic. She loses her ability to ride her broom, which has become a central point of her identity, especially as a young witch who's finding herself out in the world. And her friend, the artist hermit in the woods, Ursula, is trying to give her advice and say, just step away from it. Step away from it for a while. Don't even think about riding your broom or flying. Do something entirely else. And I really love that idea, and I think it's very true. You can set something down and absolutely come back to it in your own time. So I just want to leave you with the message that you should get out there and try different things. And don't be afraid to set down your art if you're able to and come back to it later, because I guarantee you that those different interests and hobbies that you nourish yourself with, they'll turn back up in your art. You'll see the inspiration. You'll see the fresh influences. And I think that's really, really magical. So again, this is my first vlog style video like this. Yeah, we'll see where this goes. I hope wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you have a lovely day. And I want to thank you for watching.